Hi, how are you? Sandra here, Northern Zen Yoga. All right, so right now we only have one person watching. So I'm going to give people a few minutes because it's just turned 10 o'clock now, and we'll see if we get some more viewers. If not, I'm still going to do the class, and it's business as usual. So for you that is out there watching right now, make sure you have a blanket for Shavasana and something to sit on, whatever you might have that is a blanket folded up. You could use the same blanket, just fold it up for a cushion. Or if you've got a nice cushion that's not too big, but you could not too soft, you could sit on. Anything like that, just to give you a little lift up. It helps to get the hips up off of the floor a little higher than the knees, and that helps your legs to fold out better in Sukhasana or easy pose. So if you haven't already been to my website, the June schedule is now out. It shows both the classes that are going to be available on YouTube and through Zoom. Zoom classes are only available to members of Northern Zen Yoga. And we have quite a few classes a week. So if you enjoy these yoga classes and you would like to have more, all you have to do is go to www.northernzenyoga.com and check out how to become a member, options available. And once you become a member, you sign up and register in, and you are good to go to not only watch live Zoom classes, but to have access to all of the videos of those classes that you may have missed. So, northernzenyoga.com. Check it out. If you can, and you have access to your keyboard on your laptop or your phone or whatever you're using to stream this video, just type in your first name and where you are in the world so that we have an idea who's watching out there. Okay. Now, today, as part of my experimenting with products that come up and available, I'm going to be test driving this pad, and I'll let you know in a future video or in something I upload to YouTube as a specific one for product, a review of this particular product. Now, what is this? This is a pad. This pad is about 12 inches wide, and I think it's about 15 or 16 inches long this way. It's a couple of inches deep, and I was really amazed, first off the bat, that it is very dense. It looks like it's just some kind of light foam pad, but it's really not. You can't even hardly bend it. So this is an option for something to sit on as opposed to sitting on a blanket all the time. Now, they do come with covers, but strangely, the cover of this was almost as expensive, if not more expensive in some cases, than the actual pad was. The pad was about $17. It's from Half Moon Yoga, and I got it on Amazon. So with the cover, it's more like closer to $40. So it's if you're handy with a sewing machine, as I am, I'm going to make my own cover for this if I end up liking it. So I'm going to test it out today, and I will let you know what I think about that. I think a few other things you could use it for would be kneeling. It's not that wide, I don't think, for two knees to be on there. Really, they'd have to be close together. So other than that, you can't really use it for a block as a block is designed to be used, because it does have a little give, and it's not as stable as the 4-inch foam block. So I'll let you know more about what I think about actually having sat on it for a class, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so looks like we're not getting too many viewers live today. Maybe it's a beautiful day in the rest of the world. Here it's kind of looking like rain, but we're going to start the class anyway, because people can watch this class on the uploaded version of it on YouTube at any time they like to. So a lot of people know that, especially those that watch me on a regular basis. And so if it becomes one of those mornings where they just finding that things are going differently in their day and they don't have time to do a yoga class in the morning, they can always watch it live on YouTube, along with all the other videos I have on YouTube. So let's start. We're going to start by sitting in easy pose. And because you haven't checked in with me and told me who you are or where you're from, I'm going to assume that you are needing the most basic forms of yoga. So we're going to go through some of those basic forms very slowly, very gently, and we're going to find what is the best position for you based on modifying things to fit where you're at right now. So I'm going to begin by placing my little pad down here, and I've got this cool little sheepskin that I came across several years ago that I use quite often to sit on in my yoga studio. And okay, not bad. So we're going to begin in easy pose. So for me, easy pose is fairly easy. When I first started yoga, it was not. My easy pose looked a lot more like this. I started yoga at 58 years old. I'm now 66. I haven't been doing it for quite 10 years, but I'm going to tell you that I was able to get from looking like this to looking much more like this in about a year. And that was a year of doing yoga on a regular basis, not just once a week. That was going several times a week. All gentle classes, a few yin yoga classes, but it's very doable to get yourself back to your flexibility again that you had when you were younger. Some of you may have knee issues, and your easy pose might start to look anywhere from here to here, and then starting to bring the heels a little bit closer as far as your knees can handle today. Now, I want you to understand that you are in control of what your body is able to do and not able to do, especially within this particular venue, because I can't see you and I don't know what difficulties you're having. So what you're going to be watching for is pain. Now, please understand the difference between pain and the achy stretch that you're going to feel when your muscles and your joints begin to stretch out. The achy stretch is what we're going for, and we're always going for that no matter how many years you've been doing yoga. If it feels way too comfortable, we have to look at a way of how can we make this a little less comfortable so that we can continue to work on stretching the joints and keeping the joints healthy and supple. So if right here feels not comfortable, but if you pull in your heels another inch, now all of a sudden you've got pain in the knee, and it's sharp, it's sudden, and you know it's pain. Then you move back to the place where it's achy but tolerable. That's the rule, no pain. You need to take care of your body. You don't want to injure yourself, and it's very easy to injure yourself even in yoga. So keep in mind, you need to control where your body is placed in any of the postures I show you. And I'll do my best to offer as many modifications as I can in order for you to be able to feel better doing yoga today. So whatever your easy pose is looking like this morning, let's sit down into easy pose. We're going to lengthen up our body through the spine, but we're going to watch we're not chucking the ears, the shoulders up toward the ears. We're going to let the shoulders relax down. So we're going to let the shoulders get heavy and our arms get heavy, and we'll relax them down into our lap. And we're going to keep our chin level to the floor, and we're going to imagine that somebody's grabbed the top of our hair here, grabbed a chunk of hair, and started to pull us up to sit up a little straighter. This posture is the proper way to be sitting in order to protect your low back. So whenever you end up sitting in a chair even, you should think about the posture of sitting and not slump back. That's very hard on the low back. And not let your shoulders cave in. That starts to create shortening of muscles here. So whenever you think about it, whenever you're sitting in a chair, just think about it and relax your shoulders down, straighten the spine up, lift up through the neckline, and breathe. The breath is very important. So we're going to breathe into the belly by taking a deep breath in through the nose and push your belly out. So let's inhale. And on your exhale, you're still breathing in and out through the nose. We're going to push the belly back and up a little bit. Let's inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. At your own speed, try to slow it down. Inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Inhale slowly through the nose. Exhale slowly through the nose. And let your eyes float open. We're going to start to move with the breath. So let's inhale the arms up. Nice big stretch up toward the sky. And again, it's wherever you can reach up to. Maybe you can only get your arms up to here. Maybe you can reach it up to here. Maybe you can touch fingers together. But watch you're not squishing the shoulders up. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed and down. And exhale, bringing the arms down toward the floor. So we're going to inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale through the nose into the belly as we rise the hands up. Exhale through the nose, dropping the hands down, lifting the belly up a little bit as we squeeze the air out. Let's do that a few more times, following your breath. Inhale and exhale. We're going to inhale the arms up one more time, and this time on the exhale, we're just going to drop the right hand down, and we're going to take a little stretch overhead, and we're going to push our palm that's on the mat into the floor as we reach, and we're going to also focus on our left bum cheek. We're going to push that left bum cheek down into the floor as well. Nice big stretch here. So let's take a couple of breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. Focus on breathing in, pushing your belly out. And breathing out, pushing your belly in. Inhale up one more time. Nice big stretch up. And on the exhale, let's drop over to the other side. And take the same stretch here. And you may notice your arm lifts up a little higher on this side, or maybe not as much. That's okay. Just take a beautiful stretch here and breathe. Nice and gently and slowly. This time we're focusing on the right bum cheek, pushing it down into the mat, pushing our palm down into the mat as we stretch. One more deep breath in and out. And inhale, lifting the hands up toward the ceiling. This time on the exhale, we're going to take a twist. So we're going to try to keep our belly facing forward, and we're just pushing the right shoulder back. Drop the right arm behind you. Bring your left hand down towards your lap and straighten up through the spine and push that right shoulder back just a little more. Remember, you're not lifting up anything. You're not trying to lean over to get further into it. Just allow yourself to turn your body, the upper portion of your body, as gently and as much as you can right now, the way that you're sitting. So even if you're sitting up with knees way up like this, you're just moving the shoulder. You're not moving anything to try to get deeper into the twist. Okay? Great. Let's inhale, come back to center, exhale. Inhale, stretch everything up toward the ceiling, and this time on the exhale, we're going to twist to the left side. So dropping the left hand behind the back, right hand onto your lap. And once again, you're just pushing gently your left shoulder back, keeping your bum down on your mat, nice and firm. And if you can, you can always turn your chin toward that direction. So if your neck allows. And then we're going to gently come back to center. Inhale the arms up. And this time we're going to take a forward bend. So even if you're way up here or out here, you're just bending and dropping your belly down between the thighs. If you have to reach down to here, that's okay. If you can try to reach for the floor, that's all right too. And if you're a little bit closer but knees are way up, you're just relaxing yourself down between the legs. like this. And if you happen to be somewhere closer to where I am, you're trying to drop your belly down onto your legs and walk your hands out as far as you can. Take another inhale into the belly, and on your exhale, let's just drop that belly down just a little further in between the legs. And then we're going to walk the hands over toward the right. So just bringing your hands over toward the right side as much as you can. So even if you're way up here, you're just walking your hands over to this direction. If you're way out here, you're just walking your hands over to this direction. Try to stay in your fold though, as far forward as you can lean. Breathe here, nice deep breaths. And then very, very slowly start to walk yourself all the way over to the other side. Take a few breaths here as well. And then slowly coming back to center. Stretch your arms out as far as you can, and then take an inhale. And on your exhale, push your belly down. Keep your head up, push your belly down. And then walking the hands back toward the body. Inhale the arms up, nice big stretch up. And on the exhale this time, we're bringing the hands behind us. So your fingertips can push down into your blanket or into your mat or your cushion. Or maybe you can press knuckles down. We're going to pull the shoulder blades toward each other. We're going to open up the chest a little bit. We're going to take another inhale, and on the inhale, we're going to lift up the chest. So push into the floor or whatever you have that you're pushing into, and lift up your chest on the inhale. And on your exhale, just let your head relax back as far as it can. Breathe, don't hold your breath here. Feel your rib cage open a little wider as you breathe in nice and deep. And release gently. Inhale the arms back up again. And palms, if you can bring them together. So even if you're way out here, just start to bring the hands toward each other, bringing palms together, coming down into prayer position. Push, push, push against your hands. And even if your hands are separated, keep pushing that bottom part of your hand toward each other. Put some pressure on there, trying to bring them in toward each other. And drop your hands down to just between the chest. And close your eyes for a moment and just breathe. Let your eyes come open. And we're going to switch the position of our legs. So whether you are way out here, here, or in here, you're now going to take the front leg and you're going to bring it back, and you're going to take the back leg and you're going to bring it forward. And if you have your legs out like this, you're just going to recross the legs different direction. So repositioning the legs. We're going to go through all of those steps again. These particular stretches are called the 6 directions of the spine. And they're wonderful ones that you can do anytime, even if you just get up in the morning, sit on the edge of your bed, and do go through a few of them without even having to have the legs in position of bend. So let's inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, drop them down. Following your breath, inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhale up one more time, and this time on your exhale, we're dropping the right hand down toward the floor, pushing the palm down, pushing our left bum cheek into the floor, and taking a nice little stretch here. Just an overhead stretch. Trying to reach for the other side of the room. Inhale up, nice big stretch up, and to exhale. Let's go to the other side now. Pushing our right bottom cheek into the mat, pushing our palm into the mat, and taking a nice stretch. Inhale, coming back up again. On the exhale, we're twisting to the right. So it's just the shoulders that are moving. Just the body pretty much stays forward. And you're just going to drop your left hand onto your lap. You're going to start to push the right shoulder back very slowly and gently. And if you can, you could just turn your chin toward that direction, giving your neck a nice stretch. And slowly come back to center. Inhale, stretching up. Exhale, let's twist to the other side, to the left side this time. Push the shoulder back, keep both cheeks planted down, and you can turn your chin in the direction of your shoulder. Slowly come back to center. Let's inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Dropping the hands down to the floor, pushing the belly down. Don't think about your head. Instead, just think about dropping your belly down between your legs. Come as low as you're able to, no matter what position your feet are in. And then slowly walking the hands over toward the right. Breathe here. Take a few of those nice deep breaths. And see if you can just relax down just a little more into that stretch. And then slowly, slowly working our way across all the way over as far as you can toward the left side. And then gently coming back to center. Take another inhale, and on your exhale, see if you can drop your belly down deeper between the legs. And walk the hands back toward the body. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, we're bringing the hands behind us one more time. Dropping the fingertips or the knuckles down to the pad we're sitting on or the floor itself, and pulling the shoulder blades together. So you're going to feel the stretching across the chest. Pull the shoulder blades toward each other as much as you can. Take an inhale, lift up your rib cage. And on your exhale, just relax your head back and let your chin come up toward the ceiling, feeling a nice, lovely stretch right up here. Breathe. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And release. Inhale, stretching up as high as you can stretch up, and then start to bring the palms together and then dropping down into prayer pose or namaste. Close your eyes. Take a moment to sense what your body is sensing, what it's feeling. Breathe. Okay, we're going to stretch the legs out. We're going to shake them out if you need to. They've been folded for a long time. Give them some circulation again. And we're going to come into a few stretches for the legs and the hips. So we're going to come into what's called half butterfly. So the right leg, we'll start with the right leg being extended out. If your knee is bent, don't worry about it. If you're feeling tension in the back of the leg, that's your hamstrings. You are doing it, okay? That's what you're starting to work with. For me, when I first began, I probably looked a lot more like this when I stretched my legs out. I don't know if you can see that sideways. My knees were in quite a bent position. So over time, that finally stretched out to, even still now, I have to fight with these hamstrings to keep them from getting tightened up again. But I can mostly flatten my leg down to the floor. The other leg, just like before, you're going to bring it in anywhere from just toe touching the ankle to heel into the groin, whatever you can manage today. Your leg may be way up here, you can get that heel in, but you can't drop it out to the side. Don't worry about that. If it's really bothersome, try to stuff something under there just for comfort. But otherwise, let it relax. That's the stretching that's going to happen. And we've got our leg extended out directly in front of us. So don't have it over here. Have it right out in the front. And what we're going to do is try to bring our belly down to touch down onto the thigh. So we're going to take a nice big stretch as we inhale up through the body. We're going to tip forward, and then we're going to drop our belly down as far as we can. Drop your hands to the floor, or you can rest on your thigh, you can rest on your shins, your hands, but don't press into your knee to make the hamstring feel a little more stretched. And then we're going to drop the belly down and keep our head up for as long as we can before we find the stopping place. So if you can place your hands on either side of your leg, great. If you can't, place your palms against your thigh, wherever your body position is. And you're going to inhale and come up just a few inches. So inhale up, exhale, relax back down again. Inhale up, come up just a few inches. Exhale, relax back down again. Inhale up one more time. Come up a few inches. Exhale, relax back down again. And we're just going to take a few breaths here. Feeling that stretch. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Nice deep breaths. Send the breath to the stretch. In yoga, we talk about sending the breath to the stretch. What we're talking about is when you inhale, imagine that inhalation, all the oxygen attached to it, shooting down to the place that you can feel that achy stretch. And as you exhale, you're taking that ache away with you. I know. But believe me, it works. And let's push back up again, nice and gently coming back up. You need to shake your leg out and do that. And then we're going to switch legs. So one of the hallmarks of your body is that it is not the same on either side. So sometimes when we're doing the same exact stretch from one side to the other side, you will feel that you're either more flexible on that side or less. And that's normal. Don't fight it. It is what it is. It will be that way no matter how flexible you get. So let's take a deep breath in, stretching up, reaching up. And on the exhale, let's bring our belly down, bring our hands down, and just find our first stopping place. We're going to inhale, come up just a couple of inches. And on the exhale, relax our belly back down again. Inhale, come up just a couple of inches. Exhale, relax your belly back down again. One more time. Inhale, coming up just a little bit, and exhale, relaxing back down again. I'm going to breathe here. Let your body get heavy. Find that achy, stretching feeling in your leg. It starts to go away. Try to reposition your feet or your knee joint, how it's placed, and relax down. Press into the floor, pushing the body back up again. Shake your leg out. Relax both legs out. And this time I'm going to ask you, if you're sitting on a blanket or a cushion of some kind, to sit behind it so that the cushion now is underneath your thighs. So this way we keep a nice soft knee bend. Feet can be slightly apart. And we're going to be working on bringing the belly down to the thighs, trying to push it down into the thighs. And if you're able to come down into the thighs and you're not feeling very much, you can separate more and start to bring your belly down toward the floor. So let's take that deep inhale, nice big stretch up. And on the exhale, let's drop the belly down toward the thighs. You can drop your hands to the floor. You could grab your shins or your ankles. You could grab the bottom of your feet if you can reach that far. And we're going to push into the floor or into our shins, and we're going to inhale up just a few inches. Exhale down. Push your belly down. Keep your head up. Inhale up, pushing up. Exhale, relaxing down. One more time. Inhale, coming up a few inches. And relax back down. And get heavy here. If you can reach the bottom of your feet, you probably can start to pull against the feet, trying to bring the belly closer to the floor or the pillow that your legs are resting on. Breathe a few breaths here. Nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And slowly coming upright. Once again, you can sit back up on your cushion if you like. Wiggle back up here. And we're going to come into cobbler pose. So cobbler pose, now we've warmed up our hips a little bit. Feet are together, and you should be able to put your hand down between your groin area and your heels, at least that much down there. Now you can have your heels a little bit farther away if that suits your knees better. You can have your legs like this, but the feet are touching, the soles are touching sole to sole. So you've got a little bit of an opening happening here. So anywhere from way out here to just within that width. Now, the difference between this particular posture and butterfly is pulling the heels right in as close to the body as you can. Here we have that space. That space is for our bellies. So we're going to option the reason for doing this is to try to get the belly to go into that space between your body and your heels. So in order to do that, we need to have that space there. You can grab your ankles, you can grab your shins, you can grab underneath your thighs when you're coming forward, but don't ever be using your knees for leverage. In any of the yoga postures we do, you must avoid putting pressure into the knees as much as possible. So take a deep breath in, nice straight back. Inhale, lift your head up, your chin up. And the exhale, push your belly down toward the floor. Keep your head up. Relax down as far as you can toward the floor. Find your first stopping place, and then pushing against your shins or your feet or the floor itself, you're going to inhale up just a couple of inches and relax back down again. Inhale up just a couple of inches and relax back down again. One more time, inhale up a couple of inches and relax down and let everything get heavy here. Once you're here in this position, you can see if you can open your feet up like a book so that the soles are more facing toward your ceiling or your face. And breathe. And we're going to push into the floor, coming upright again, nice and easy. Help your knees up, bring them up, stretch the legs out, shake the legs out. And now we're going to go onto our knees. So if you have really sensitive knees that get sore easily, you can use your blanket now as a cushioning or your pillow you've been sitting on for cushioning for the knees, because we're going to be on the knees for a few minutes. So for me though, I'm going to have to get this all out of the way. And we're going to come into cat-cow. So in cat-cow, our knees are just a fist width apart. So coming up onto your knees, positioning the knees under the hips, and dropping down onto your hands, coming into a nice flat back to start out with. So the part that we're actually moving is the pelvis. So think about your tailbone, this part right back here. Little tailbone here. When you breathe in, you're going to drop your belly and you're going to lift the tailbone up toward the ceiling and look up as high as you can. And when you exhale, you're going to tuck your tailbone under, pull your belly button up toward your rib cage and push all the air out, push into your hands. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, curl the back. Drop, push into the floor, drop your tailbone. So inhaling to cow, exhaling into cat. And I want you to do a few more of these at your own speed. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale, nice big inhale. And a big exhale, really pull that belly button up. Push all the air out. From here, we're going to come into some cat stretches. So you can use anything else you need here for balance if you like. You can have your block handy here so that you can rest your hand on it to help with your balance. And so what we're going to do is we're going to lift up the right leg and the left hand, so opposites. So if you need to rest your hand on here for balance, that's okay. Trying to pick it up periodically just to make sure that you're actually testing your balance here. We're going to switch sides now, so it'll be the right hand and the left leg. Stretch it out. Push your heel away, reach out with your fingertips. And we're going to drop back down again. Let's switch sides one more time. Left hand, right leg. Look just ahead of your mat. It will help you balance. And drop down. Left leg, right hand. Nice big stretch. And drop back down again. We're going to come up onto our knees just for a second. And we're going to talk about coming back into a couple of the postures that require you to sit back onto your heels. The first one is child pose. So if knees are an issue for you and you have a block, you can use a block to sit on. You just put it between your heels, sit back onto the block. The block has lots of sides, low, medium, and the high side. The other option you have if you don't have a block is to take your blanket or your pillow and place it here between your thigh, the back of your thigh and your calf, and sit back onto that. It's not a comfortable position, and it should never be thought of as a comfortable position. So I want you to try a couple of different options to see if you can get yourself to the place where you're not in pain. So your toes are going to touch, and we're going to widen up the knees so that the knees are almost as wide as the mat, or try to get at least as wide as you can get. And then you're going to put your hands down onto the floor. You're going to push back your bottom until you get as close to the point of either you can't bend anymore or you're touching down with your heels to your block or your bottom. Sorry, your block or your heels. Yeah, I think I said that right the first time. Now, the next thing we're going to do is start to, again, we're focusing on bringing the belly down. So we're going to walk the hands away from us and let the belly get heavy between the legs, bringing the belly down. So where a lot of people get lost here, and I'm just going to switch my view for you, is that they stretch out, they start to bring their head down, and their bum comes up. It's not about getting your head to the floor. It's about getting your bottom and your heels to make contact. So here you can use a block. If you've got a second block, you can have a block here. So you're sitting back, but as soon as you start to drop your head down past here, your heels and your bottom start to come apart. You can come to here. You can come to here. You can come to here. Or if you don't have a block, you can use your fists. The key being is getting this position starting to happen. So we're working on pushing those hips back, dropping the bottom down. Compression here in the legs and getting the knee joint to stretch. So the muscles that you're actually working on are the muscles in the front of the knee, this one right here. So there's a couple of muscles here that are attached to this part of your knee, and these are the ones that are preventing you from bending your knee in the angle that I'm bending mine in right now. So as soon as you start coming back, you start to feel this tremendous pressure and even maybe pain in the knee joint. That's what's happening. So this takes time to stretch. So be patient with yourself. Use your props that you have at your disposal. You can do anything you'd like to as long as you don't think about it's about getting your head to the floor. So find your child pose. The other option of child pose is, of course, knees together, sitting back. This is a little more difficult to come into, puts a lot more pressure onto the knee joint. So either one is fine with me. Just take a breath there for a few seconds and relax down into your child pose. We're going to come back up and we're going to come into a sitting position. So you can either have your knees wide like this or together, and you're going to sit up. Hands go onto the thighs. This is called hero's pose. Again, if you're using props, use whatever you can, your blanket, your block, or combination thereof, and find your hero pose. Take a few breaths here. From here, we're going to go into downward facing dog. So downward dog is always a challenge for everyone. No exceptions here. Stretch your arms out in front. You're going to come up onto your knees to begin with. Stretch your arms out. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hips up toward the ceiling. Push into your hands for leverage. And we're not going to worry about touching our heels down to the floor. You need to have a certain stretchability in your Achilles tendon to be able to drop heels to the floor. And if you don't have it, you probably will never have it. 8 years of yoga, I don't have it. And we're going to look toward our hands, and we're going to start to walk our feet toward our hands, coming into the forward fold. So if you have a block handy, or something that you substituted for a block, the floor can get a lot closer for you if you have the block and you can't touch the floor. So the block is here for you to be the place of the floor if you can't quite make it down to the floor. We're working on lifting up that tailbone again into the sky and dropping our belly onto our thighs. Knees are soft. You can bend your knees a little bit more here if you like. Come deeper into the fold and relax down. You can link your arms together and just gently sway side to side. It feels good to do that. If it's not, don't do it. Just relax and breathe here. If you have low blood pressure issues, you may want to be very gently coming up. Careful, come up really slow so you don't get a head rush as you come back upright again. So we're going to come up to a halfway lift. So lifting up the hands, or wherever your hands are, bring them to your thighs. Press into your thighs. Straighten the legs out a little bit. Lift the head up. Flatten your back down. Try to look up slightly. Exhale. And we're going to fold again. We'll do that one more time. Halfway lift. Hands on the thighs. Lift the tailbone up. Flatten your back. Look up. And then relax back down again. This time we're going to come up in a reverse swan dive. So if you need to push into your thighs to lift your torso up to begin with, that's okay. If you think you can do it, push into your feet, bend your knees slightly, lift your arms out to the side, keep your back flat, coming upright. Relax down into mountain pose. Now, mountain pose is a nice strong pose. Standing pose, feet are slightly apart. Feet are pressing down into the ground, shoulders rolled back, shoulder blades toward each other, opening up the chest. The arms, the palms face forward. If you're not pushing your shoulders back, you won't be able to rotate the palms comfortably. But once you start to push your shoulder blades back, you'll find that rotation of the palms is very easy to do. Breathe here, close your eyes. Push into the floor, strengthen up the muscles in your legs, in your bum, in your belly, and smile. You got to smile in this pose. It's wonderful. Take a few of those lovely deep breaths into the belly and out through the nose, in and out through the nose. Feel your body. Feel the sensations it's feeling. So you'll notice when I came to the upright position, I did a reverse swan dive with a nice strong flat back coming all the way up and using the legs to push me up. So I'm going to go through that again. You can watch or you can follow. So we're in the forward fold. And we're coming up from the fold in a reverse swan dive. So I'm throwing my arms out, I'm pushing into the floor, I've got my back nice and flat, and I'm lifting my chest up using the strength of all of the muscles in my body plus my legs. Used to be we did the rolling up the spine thing. Roll up the spine one vertebrae at a time. And then people started injuring their spine. And everybody was all confused. Why? Why are people injuring their spine doing yoga? It's supposed to be good for the spine. And the Chiropractic Society discovered that some of the movements we were doing were very counterproductive, especially if you didn't have very coordinated body weight. So say, for example, you were a little more top heavy, shoulder heavy, arm heavy than you were in the abdominal strength, then you would probably have an injury at a certain point where all of this weight is being expected to be lifted by one little part of your back. So they changed things. We got re-educated around that. It's important that anybody who you watch teaching yoga is teaching the newer, more safer methods of yoga. Always check for their accreditation. I have a 300-hour accreditation. I know that there's people out there who are teaching yoga who have no accreditation, and they might know yoga backwards and forwards, but they haven't been educated up to par right now. So very important. We have to take care of our spine. So we're going to go into the next posture, which a lot of people do incorrectly, and we're going to relearn it if you've already learned it in a different way, and that's called Warrior One. So from a standing position, you could be about the middle of your mat. You're going to step your right foot forward, and you're going to start to work your left leg back until you are in a bent knee position. So if you look through the camera at my feet, you will see that my feet are on their own side of the mat. If I drew a line down the middle, they would be, doesn't matter how far apart they are, it's about being on either side of that middle line. So most of the time we were being taught to do this. So what happens is my hips are facing over here. Now I've got to turn my whole torso this way, and I've got to start to do stretches and lifts with my chest and my body in a twisted position. Very, very bad for your back. Dangerously bad for your back. So how close your feet are, that is basically a balancing position thing. You want to find the optimum balance here. You want your hips to be facing straight forward. No doubt about it. There's no twisting in your back to get there. You might feel in some place around your pelvic area a little bit of a strain or a crunch feeling, tightness feeling, where your back leg is pushing back and pushing the heel into the floor. That's a muscle thing. That's got nothing to do with your spine. It's not affecting your spine. And that's what we're protecting here. So from here, the angle of your foot, again, it's about you. It's about what feels comfortable for you. Your foot may be turned out a little more. Your foot might have to turn in a little bit more toward front. It's up to you. Find the optimum balancing position, comfort position for your ankle. So we're going to inhale the arms up. And we're not crunching the arms up. We're just lifting the hands up, keeping the shoulders relaxed. And we're going to look up toward the ceiling. So here is where this position can be dangerous. So I'm going to exhale, and you can follow me if you like. You feel able to do this. We're going to bring the chest down. Now, if I was in a twisted position, I've got all this weight twisting my back. My back is being forced to hold the weight of the chest and the shoulders in a twisted position as I come into a position called humble warrior, which is basically holding, everything is being held right now by my front foot pushing into the ground. Going to inhale, coming back up again. So this is the lift part that would be very, very difficult and hard on your back if you were twisted. Now, the other thing I want to show you is the position that my knee and my ankle are in. So I'm going to come sideways. So I'm step back into Warrior One. My hips are forward. And you can see that my knee and my ankle are fairly close in alignment with each other. If you have to err on the side of the knee being slightly behind the ankle, not in front of the ankle. this is going to create damage in the meniscus in the knee joint. So this is what you need to be working for, having the alignment of the knee and the ankle together so that you can make sure that when you are going into the different movements in this posture, you're not going to injure your knees. So let's try it on the other side. Stepping this time, the left foot forward, right foot back. Find the bent knee position. Now, because each side of your body is different, you may be able to move your ankle in a different position here. But the most important thing is hips are forward and we feel balanced, sort of. If you're on a cushion mat and you're also on a cushioned floor, like a carpeting, you're going to find balancing is going to be a challenge. I know I'm finding it a challenge daily here in this particular studio. So let's inhale, reach the arms up. Stretch up toward the ceiling, and then we're going to take a step forward, standing in mountain pose for a moment. We're going to leave the right foot forward. We're going to step that left leg back again. We're going to come back into warrior one. Inhale the arms up. Make sure you're feeling nice and secure here. And on the next inhale, we're going to straighten the front leg, and we're going to come down with our belly toward our thigh in a forward fold. If you have a block, you can use a block here. If you don't, you can either grab just below your knee or place your hand just above your knee, but you're never going to grab your knee. And we're going to come into a rotation. So we're going to take the left arm, we're going to put it behind our back, and we're going to lift the left shoulder up toward the ceiling. So this part might be a challenge for a lot of you. If it is, and you can only get your shoulder up this high, you're going to just work on the lift. The lifting of the shoulder up in toward the ceiling. If you can lift the shoulder up and the ceiling is quite visible to you, then you reach for it. But don't reach for it if your shoulder is down here. You're going to injure your shoulder joint. So instead, just relax your arm on your back and focus on getting that twist happening. Let's come back up. We're going to bend the knee as we come back up, lifting back up into warrior one, and we're going to take a step forward into mountain pose. Sorry, my head half disappears when I get up to the top of the mat here. We're going to take a step back this time with the right leg, leaving the left foot forward, coming into warrior one in this position. Find your warrior one, find your balance. Inhale the arms up. The next inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, let's take a forward fold. Bringing your chest and your belly down toward your leg. Placing your hand on your block right beside your calf or either, and I'll put the block there just to show you. Or you can grab just below the knee or just above the knee. And we're going to put the right hand behind the back and lift the shoulder up toward the ceiling. And again, if your shoulder points to the ceiling, you can reach. Otherwise, you're working on just getting that shoulder up. None of this. All right, let's come back into mountain pose. We're going to come into warrior two very quickly. We're going to go through the warrior two position. So this time, your right foot is forward and your heels are lined up. You're going to bring the left leg back as far as you can. So look down, check your heels. Are your heels in line? That is because this time we do want to be having our hips in the more sideways position. We're going to push our knee toward our baby toe because it's going to want to roll in toward the center. We're going to check the alignment of both knee and ankle. We should be able to see our toes if we're upright and glance down. And then we're going to stretch our arms out. Our back foot, very important. We used to teach parallel to the back of the mat. We teach that instead, push your heel back a little further than your toes. So your foot is on a slight angle. And I don't know if you can see that well in the video feed, but my foot is on an angle as opposed to being parallel to the back of the mat. It's more like this. So Watch all of these little things. These are all important. They're all protecting your low spine. That little movement of the heel actually changes the amount of pressure that's on the L5 vertebrae in your back, and that's very important. So we're going to stretch out. Arms, we're going to look out over the middle finger. And then we're going to drop the back hand down. We're going to turn our palm upright, and we're going to lift up the palm toward the ceiling. And we're going to lean back just a little bit as we look up at it. We're going to exhale, bring the arm down toward the thigh. We're going to relax the forearm onto your thigh. We're going to lift the shoulder up to the ceiling. That's the first thing. If you're not able to lift the shoulder up toward the ceiling, that's what you're working on. If you can get the shoulder up to here, then you're going to reach overhead and you're going to stretch into the side angle. Come back up again. Come back up again. Use your arms. Bring this arm back. Bring this one forward. Lift the torso up. Warrior two. Drop your hands. And you're going to switch legs this time. So you can either do like I'm doing, sideways on your mat and then just flip around. Or you can change, step up to the front of your mat, change your foot position. Basically, if your feet were in the right place to begin with, all you have to do is just flip around. Watching the back foot, it's on an angle. Watching the front foot, you can see my toes. So that means my knee is either behind slightly my ankle or in line with my ankle. And I'm spacing more sideways than not. And my arms are outstretched. And I'm going to look at the middle finger. Let's drop the back hand down. Front palm comes up. Proud warrior. Exhale. Forearm drops down to the leg. Lifting the shoulder up toward the ceiling first. We can get it focused on the ceiling. Then we can lift our hand overhead and reach for the other side of the room. Inhale, let's come back up again. Exhale, drop the hands down, turn the toes in. We're almost ready to come into our Shavasana, so we're coming down now. Let's come down in a beautiful way, coming into a forward fold. So if you have a block, get your block handy if the floor is far away for you. Otherwise, you're going to start to flatten out your back and push your bottom out, lift your tailbone up. Keep your chin up. Come into a nice flat back position. Then begin to reach down for the floor. Letting your head slowly come down. If you can't quite reach the floor, use your block. Even if you're using a block, we're going to do a little bit of a side lunge. So if you've got a block and you have to hang onto the block here to be able to get close to the floor and balanced, put your block over by your right toes, bend your right knee, lunge over to the side. For the others, you're going to walk your hands over to that direction. And then we're going to come back upright again, pushing into the floor. Then we're going to put the block over by the left toes, stretch out the right leg, bend the left. And again, watch that knee alignment. Try not to lunge over too far so that you're doing one of these things. Instead, keep that alignment. Come back to center. Relax here. Take a few breaths. And then from here, whether you have your block or not, you're going to gently bring a foot in, drop down to one knee, bring the other leg in, come back onto your bottom. And we're going to come down onto our back. And once you get down, bring your knees up to your chest. Relax your head back. If your head feels strained, being back here, dropping to the floor, grab your pillow that you used to sit on, or whatever it was, your blanket, and you're just going to let your head relax here and allow your shoulders to relax down. So spread your arms out. Knees are up. Rock back and forth on your back until it feels nice and soft. Take a deep breath in and then drop the knees over to the left. Look toward the right. Take a deep breath in again and exhale through your mouth this time. let all you relax. Let your air out. Relax, relax. Inhale, bring your knees back up. Rock on your back a few times. And then drop them over to the right and look to the left. So if your knees are way up like this, or they're way apart like that, don't worry about it. It's not about that. It's just about this gentle twist. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling through the mouth. Bring your knees back up again. Hug them in if you can. If you like, you can reach for your big toes. Going into happy baby. And then stretching out for Shavasana. Stretch it out. Pick up lots of space. Spread your legs out. Spread your arms out. Oh, take some of those long, slow, deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And each breath, you're melting down. Relax. This is the most difficult posture because this is the one we want to get out of. This is the one we can't shut our brain off in. So take a few deep breaths and try to relax everything in your body. It's called corpse pose, Shavasana, meaning we're supposed to behave as if we're dead. Body is dead. So try to calm down your breath. Let it get heavy, your body. Let it melt into your floor. Let your mouth and chin relax. And if you've got mind chatter, instead think of a place in your mind where you feel most at peace and just think about that. Go there. Go to that place. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, waking your body back up again. Give yourself a nice stretch. Stretch your body out. And then bring your knees up and give yourself a hug. Take a moment to hug yourself. Show yourself a little bit of love. And then gently roll over to one side. It doesn't matter whichever side feels like it's the right side to do it. And then as you lie there on your side, take a few more breaths. Don't get up yet. Take a moment to feel your body. Feel what it's feeling and how it's feeling. And then when you feel ready, you can sit up and join me in easy pose. We'll close our class. I like to close my class with an Om. You're welcome to join me if you like. And what I do is I take an inhale, an exhale, and then I inhale for the Om. So let's inhale, exhale, inhaling for Om. Om. Rub your hands together, generating some energy, some prana. Close your eyes, and as you close your eyes, think of places inside you that could use some loving, healing energy. no matter what that is. Place your palms over your closed eyes, and when you breathe in, open them, sending that energy deep down inside to the places need to go. And on your exhale, sending some back out to the universe. Scoop up a little bit though, and take it back to your heart center. Namaste. So you're welcome at this point to ask questions. If there's no questions, I'll close the class off. But if you do have questions, please just enter them in the chat board, and I'll be doing my best to answer those questions for you. And keep in mind, there's no stupid questions. There's just questions that people like yourself often have about yoga practice and what it means and what they felt while they were doing the yoga practice. So ask away. I'm just going to come over here, have a nice big sip of my tea. Hi, Brenda. I hope you're still there. I'm glad you're here with us. If you have any questions today, you feel free to ask. I was just pointing out at the beginning of the class that I do have my schedule for June up onto the website. And if you haven't considered becoming a member yet, particularly you, Brenda, I know you watch me quite frequently on the YouTube channel. It's not expensive, and you get to join the Zoom classes, which this month there's only the Saturday and the Sunday classes, and they're only one every weekend, so they alternate. And this weekend, though, is the Saturday class, and it is at 10 a.m., and you have to go to my website, www.northernzenyoga.com. Go to Live Classes tab and just page down a little bit, and you'll find the link for the Saturday morning yoga class, which is free. So if you haven't done the experience of Zoom yet with me, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot different because we're more relaxed. We're more like being in a yoga studio. And there's people who join us that are pretty much all over the world. So it's cool. So try it out. It's free on this Saturday coming to try out and see if it's something that you'd like to do. Hi, Wynn. I'm glad you joined me. You also may be interested in checking out the Zoom class on Saturday. If it's available to you to join us 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, my time here in the North America, Toronto, New York corridor. So I'll be putting out, I think if maybe a couple of you maybe weren't there at the beginning, I've got a pad that I'm testing out that I'm going to be doing a review of. I'm going to use it a few times. I sat on it today, it wasn't too bad, and see what else it's good for. As pads go, I guess it's not that cheap, but it's nicer than a block, that's for sure. Okay. Well, I'm not getting any questions, so I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to go have my breakfast. Anyway, please consider joining me for the free Zoom classes. There's a couple of Saturday classes, Saturday, the 12th of June and the 26th of June, 10 a.m. This week is a gentle Hatha, and on the 20th, it'll be yin yoga. And also next week on YouTube, the live class will be a yin yoga class. So if you love yin yoga, please join me for that. Okay, for people who would like to be part of the Zoom classes, but they have restrictions on their time that they have to be doing things, maybe they're not available in the mornings when most of the Zoom classes are. If you are a member of Northern Zen Yoga, you get to come to the page that is just for members, and all of the Zoom classes are there. All of the videos, I upload the videos within a few days of the class itself. For example, right now on the members page is the Dragon Dance Vinyasa. If anybody wanted to try that out, they have to be a member to see that video. Otherwise, you can try to join me on a Sunday morning. Sunday, the next one is the 20th. I know it's Father's Day, but you might be able to enroll a few fathers into joining. And it is a Dragon Vinyasa. It is a very high energy yoga flow. And it's very doable. It's just, if there's stuff you can't do, you just don't do that stuff. But otherwise, most of it you can do. It's just a little quicker pace than a gentle flow. So I hope maybe, Wing, you could at least check out one of the weekend classes this month. I know if you're always working Saturday morning, that's kind of impossible. But if you want to try out the Zoom, you could always let me know, and I'd be more than happy to send you a link to one of the classes that you are able to attend. If it's the weekends, it's not possible. So think about that. And as well as you, Brenda. Anyway, I will see you all next time, next week. On YouTube is Yin Yoga. Bye for now. Have a great rest of your day. The weather here is fantastic, so I'm not complaining. It's hot, but I'm not complaining. Bye for now.